Good morning. Welcome to the Tuesday edition of your favorite program on television, Inside Nigeria. Today is Tuesday, November 28, 2023. Of course, today is the last Tuesday in the month of November. My name is Winifred Gwebo, your anchor on the program. Today, we are going to be reviewing some select newspapers on our menu, starting with Nigeria's most influential newspaper, Leadership, Daily Sun, Vanguard, The Guardian, THISDAY, The Punch, and The Nation. These are newspapers for review on this Tuesday's edition of the program. And as we normally do on the program, we like to flag off with Nigeria's most influential, Leadership. Leadership's leading story says Supreme Court Judicial Council begins screening of 22 justices today. Supreme Court Judicial Council begins screening of 22 justices today. Exercise to last 1 week. Expect full complement of justices soon. CJN says benchmark for new senior advocates. There's a leading story on today's Leadership, and of course is also gracing the cover of other newspapers that we are going to be seeing after this on our lineup. Other stories on Leadership says Biden apologizes over comments on Gaza killings. Biden apologizes over comments on Gaza killings. Federal government okays 27 trillion naira for 2024 budget. Targets 18 trillion naira revenue. That is the business news on today's cover. Federal government okays 27 trillion naira for 2024 budget. Targets 18 trillion naira revenue. And above the masthead, we have protest Ross Kano over appeal court judgment. Tinubu constitutes NNPCL board, retains Kyari. Gunmen killed 2 police officers, civilian in Imo. Gunmen killed 2 police officers, civilian in Imo. Zenith Bank signs MOU to establish subsidiary in France. FCTA to reclaim lands occupied by hoodlums. Dangote plans listing $20 billion refinery on Nigerian Stock Exchange. The story continues on page 25 of Leadership. And of course, the photo story is on the new permanent secretaries taking oath of office before President Tinubu at the presidential villa Abuja yesterday. And of course, with that photo caption, we move to page 3 of the paper, where we have our stand. Our stand today is on why businesses must survive and grow. Why businesses must survive and grow is today's editorial on Leadership. We have to move to the back page of the paper, where we have Tuesday column with Ray Murphy. Ray Murphy is writing on time is running out on Nigeria. Time is running out on Nigeria is Ray Murphy's column for today on Tuesday's column. So with that, we round off today's Leadership review. For more on this, log on to the website of Leadership, www.leadership.ng. From Leadership, we move over to Daily Sun. Daily Sun says war over judiciary. Courts pushing Nigeria to anarchy, but they judge. We won't replace law with mob emotions, CJN. Tinubu ready to implement reforms, Fagbemi. I'll take that leading story once again. War over judiciary. Courts pushing Nigeria to anarchy, but they judge. And the CJN says we won't replace law with mob emotions. The Attorney General and Minister of Justice Lateef Fagbemi says Tinubu ready to implement reforms. This is the leading story today. It's Tuesday, November 28, 2023. The caption on Daily Sun. Other stories. Police alleged protest plot by faceless group in Kano. Police alleged protest plot by faceless group in Kano. Gunmen killed 2 police officers in Imo. President reappoints NNPCL GCEO Mele Kyari, names board members. Federal government begins repair of collapsed roads December 1, says minister. Dangote's $20 billion refinery set to list on Nigerian Stock Exchange. Obi in London says Africa right destination for investment. And the second leading story says Nasarawa Guba violent clash over appeal court judgment. Army vehicle allegedly crashes into protesters, injures 3. Zenith Bank signs MOU with French government for subsidiary establishment in France. The story continues on page 2 of Daily Sun. And the last story raising the cover of Daily Sun just beside the masthead says FEC approves 27 trillion naira as 2024 budget. President presents appropriation bill tomorrow, orders commencement of 100 billion naira road repair projects. For continuation of these headline stories, inside stories, the editorial and back page, log on to the website of Daily Sun, www.sunnynewsonline.com. From Daily Sun, we move over to the next paper that has almost similar headline, and that is Vanguard. Vanguard says justices fight back. We can't replace law with emotions, CJN. Justices fight back. We can't replace law with emotions, CJN. Says judges won't be afraid of intimidation with independence. Scores third arm highly. Arts rule of law in Nigeria questionable since 1999. Discloses NJC ready to receive petitions against election tribunal judges. Swears in 58 new SANs. Tax them on professionalism, integrity. CJN's confession of external influences troubling. Articles 8. Societies fail when public confidence in judiciary fails. Labour Party. CSO's fought CJN. AGF tax new SANs on professionalism orders. These are the riders on the headline story. Justices fight back. We can't replace law with emotions, CJN. Other stories on the cover of Vanguard are ASU, Konua warn a government against new varsities, say existing ones malnourished. ASU, Konua warn government against new varsities, say existing ones malnourished. The story continues on page 9 of the paper. FEC votes 3.23 billion naira for explosives, narcotics detection scanners in 5 airports. Appeal court judgment, protest rocks parts of Kano. Diversion, NCAA grants United Nigerian Airlines wet leased aircraft. Appeal court says Kaduna Speaker, orders rerun in 5 polling units. Above the masthead, banks ready for recapitalization, CIBN, that is Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria. Judicial decisions can affect FDI, CBN government, that is foreign direct inflow. Judicial decisions can affect FDI, CBN government. Federal government jacks up 2024 budget to 27.5 trillion naira. Tinubu reappoints Mele Kyari, Group CEO of NNPC Limited. These are the headline stories on Vanguard newspaper. For continuation of these stories, log on to the website of Vanguard, www.vanguardngr.com. From talking justice, we move to the other papers on a menu talking about the proposed budget. And we'll start off with The Guardian. The Guardian says $1 trillion economy. Federal government proceeds with unambitious budget. Proposes 27.5 trillion naira next year. $1 trillion economy. Federal government proceeds with unambitious budget. Proposes 27.5 trillion naira next year. And of course, as usual with The Guardian, they have graphic illustration beneath the headline story. Let's take it one after the other. We have deficit of 9 trillion naira. That is 2024 key estimates. We have inflation 21.4%. Economic growth 3.76%. Oil production 1.8 million barrel per day. Oil price $77. Exchange rate 750 naira per dollar. And of course, revenue 18 trillion naira. The 27.5 trillion naira budget translates to a per capita, that is citizen, spending plan of 127,000 naira or $150. It's interesting, isn't it? Of course, breaking down the proposed 27.5 trillion naira budget for next year. Well, underneath that, we have other stories. You beg Bimo's shortage of teachers, 100 billion naira yearly funding. The news page 44 of The Guardian. You beg Bimo's shortage of teachers, 100 billion naira yearly funding. Despite warning, protest in Kano over Court of Appeal ruling. At The Guardian anniversary lecture book presentation today, stakeholders discuss federalism. CJN seeks amendment for termination of most cases at Appeal Court. LCCI flays inconsistencies in federal government's 1 trillion naira economic vision. MTEF. The news continues on business page 15 of The Guardian. And of course, the last story gracing the cover today says the untreated relics of NSAS protest 3 years after. It is the editorial on The Guardian today, and of course it runs on page 12 of the paper. The untreated relics of hashtag NSAS protest 3 years after. So with that, we move over to the next paper on our menu. But for continuation of those headline stories on The Guardian, log on to the website www.guardian.ng. The next paper, still on budget issue, is THISDAY. THISDAY says FEC approves 27.5 trillion naira appropriation bill for 2024. FEC approves 27.5 trillion naira appropriation bill for 2024. Revises exchange rate to 750 naira per dollar. Oil benchmark now $77.96. OK's $1 billion AFDB concessionary loan. Oyedele-led tax reforms committee briefs FEC. Council approves Nigeria's draft human rights report to the UN. Tinubu presents 2024 appropriation bill to National Assembly tomorrow. Abbas will give Nigerians avenue to participate in budget process. That is the Speaker of the House of Representatives. FEC approves 27.5 trillion naira appropriation bill for 2024. The headline story on this day. And about that, Ariwola, that is the CJN, unnecessary cases overstretching judiciary. We need alternative dispute resolution mechanisms. Says nation can't import foreign laws to try local cases. Declares open last legal year, six full Supreme Court bench. Considers it worthy legacy to leave behind. Federal government charges NJC to fast-track appointment process. The story runs on underneath the headline story and continues on page 10 of this day. And above the masthead of this day, we have Zenith Bank. French government signed MOU to establish subsidiary in France. Kyari returns as NNPC's Group Chief Executive Officer. Akinyelure becomes new board chairman. This story continues on page 6 of this day. For more on these headline stories, inside stories, editorial, and back page, log on to the website of this day, www.thisdaylive.com. This day takes us right next to The Punch. The Punch leading story says, still on budget, Tinubu presents budget Wednesday, that is tomorrow. FEC OK's $1 billion loan. Tinubu presents budget Wednesday. FEC OK's $1 billion loan. Federal government targets 18 trillion naira revenue. Raises exchange rate benchmark from 700 naira per dollar to 750 naira per dollar. Speaker, opposition lawmakers assure Nigerians of proper budget screening to greet ministers. Of course, we have the picture of President Bola Tinubu swearing in 8 FEC yesterday. And just beneath that, we have the story for the photo. President swears in 8 FEC, presides over fake meeting. The story continues on page 19 of The Punch. Appeal Court sacks Kaduna Speaker, orders rerun. Borno villagers jubilate over Boko Haram commander's killing. Appeal Court judgment, fresh protest roars Kano. which takes us right to the ones above the masthead. Attack on judges, public sentiments can't display law. CJN NBA. I am best to succeed Obaseki, Shaibu declares. That is the Deputy Governor of Edo State, Philip Shaibu. Tinubu names Akinyelure NNPC chair, reappoints Kyari CEO. These are the headline stories on The Punch today, Tuesday, November 28, 2023. For more on this, log on to the website of The Punch, www.punchng.com. From The Punch, we move over to the last paper we have on our menu today for review, and that is The Nation. The Nation says Tinubu orders massive fixing of federal roads, says Umahi, the works minister. Tinubu repair work begins immediately. Nigerians to report poor job through dedicated phone lines. And some of the roads as listed by The Nation: Shadan Plateau bridges, Abuja Kaduna Zaria Kano, Gombe Bauchi roads, East West Road, Lagos Abeokuta. Banks ready for recapitalization. Nigerian Air project for review. National Assembly under pressure over 2024 budget. President to present 27.5 trillion naira appropriation bill tomorrow. Akeredolu Ayedatiwa peace agreement heads for collapse. Union Bank deletes shares from Nigerian Stock Exchange. Akinyelure is NNPC's board chairman. The story continues on page 11 of The Nation. And of course, Shaibu says, that is the Deputy Governor of Edo State, Philip Shaibu, I'm intimidated, my allocation seized. Deputy Governor joins 2024 race. Supreme Court will get full 21 justices, Ariwola pledges. Reduce cases as APEC court. Protest in Kano over appeal court verdict, 7 suspects heads. These are the headline stories on today's The Nation newspaper. For more, log on to the website of The Nation, www.thenationonlineng.net. So viewers, with that, we've come to the end of today's Tuesday edition of Inside Nigeria, your breakfast show on Leadership Television. My name is Winifred Gwebo, and it feels good to be hosting you on today's program. Here's wishing you a beautiful day. See you tomorrow, same time, same station. Bye.